Wet rice fields surrounded them, rising and falling with the earth broken only by elevated farm huts. Workers and farmhands stood knee-deep in the wet soil as they harvested the rice, looking up only to see a band of 3 wagons pass through the muddy road that cut down the middle of the farms. And leading them, barefoot with his pant legs rolled up to his knees and wearing nothing but a loose tunic, was Ewan Fortune himself, a large smile on his face as he walked beside his black steed. He whistled as he marched, giving the farmers' daughters a wink as he and the caravan passed. Through the clouds, a high, yellow midday sun shone down, and Suikin, the large snow oni who sat at the helm of the first wagon, seemed to be getting increasingly irritated by it.
"How are we doing, First Officer?"
Ewan questioned, running beside the oni as he lazily steered.
"Oh, not too hot, huh?"
he muttered, seeing the creature's irritation.
"I suppose high 20s aren't the nicest temperature for a snow oni, huh?"
Ewan paused, as though realizing something.
"Wait, I'll be right back,"
he said with a smile, giving the oni a hard pat on the arm before maneuvering around the narrow road and running toward the back of the first wagon, mud splashing up with each step.
"Is it in here?"
Ewan questioned, opening the curtains of the wagon and peering in. Malachi, the silent necromancer, and Tsunarashi stared back at him, as if he was interrupting their conversation.
"Oh, sorry guys. Wrong wagon,"
Ewan muttered, backing away. He began to sprint toward the second one, giving a quick wave to Malau, who was also outside in the mud.
"Hey!"
he said, opening it. The medical wagon, housing Hyuna, Lomuna, and Yamato.
"Oh, wrong cart,"
Ewan repeated, glancing at his teammates. His eyes darted between Yamato to Hyuna to then Lomuna, and before he closed the curtains, he made a slight mental note of the situation. He then made his way to the third cart.
"Echo!"
he called to the large orca beastman who sat in its front seat.
"You doing all right?"
he questioned, before making his way to the end of the caravan, the curtains to the third wagon. He pulled them open and revealed what he was looking for, a massive bundle of food, there for them.
"Ah, perfect."
He smiled, giving a happy nod to Millian and Razul, who sat opposite the feast.
"I've got a surprise for Suikin,"
he muttered, searching through the piles. They had this food wrapped in paper. It was like flavored ice. It was really delicious. He tried to explain to the two as he searched through.
"Aha!"
he exclaimed, pulling a cone covered in paper out victoriously. He unwrapped it and his hand was instantly drenched by warm, fruity water that seeped out the cone.
"Oh, I guess things melt,"
he stated, like an idiot. Suddenly something caught his eye, a foot beneath the food.
Anne?"
he commented, removing a basket to reveal the body of a teenage girl beneath.
"I think I found some sort of corpse."
It wasn't a corpse, but instead the unconscious body of Terra Hameen.
"We should throw it out,"
Anne said with a perfectly serious face as she stared down at the unconscious but clearly breathing girl dozing off under the supplies.
"It's a joke,"
she added. It made sense that she had to explain herself, as her generally calm and serious disposition led most people to believe that she meant everything she said. Then again, it was a pretty morbid joke. She leaned against the back wall of the wagon, folding her arms over her chest.
"Are you gonna pull her out or what?"
Millie's eyes fluttered open and she woke up with a cute little yawn, stretching her arms out.
"Who's pulling what out?"
she murmured, blinking dazedly.
"Her,"
Anne said, gesturing toward the food pile.
"Oh."
Millie fell back asleep in her lap. Ewan swallowed as he looked the dead corpse up and down, his eyes locked with Anne's.
"Oh, we gotta get rid of this,"
he said, pulling the girl out and slinging her over his shoulder.
"Come on,"
he called, hopping out the wagon and quickly cornering it. The workers looked on in confusion as the guild leader appeared to emerge with some sort of decaying corpse in his arms.
"Guys,"
he called, hitting the wagons as he passed by each.
"Quickly, guild meeting. We have a situation."
He ran to the front and flung Terra's body into the muddy ground. He then turned to the assembling guild members who had gathered before the first wagon, which he had brought to a halt.
"Right, we've got some sort of corpse decaying in our caravan,"
he explained.
"We've got to dispose of it immediately. Maybe we should bury her? Or she could be Guanish. Incineration could work."
Suikin wiped the sweat off his brow and turned to face the corpse.
"Are you sure this is a corpse?"
he questioned wearily.
"This girl aided us in the grave site last night. Does she have a pulse?"
Lomuna yawned, having been abruptly woken up from her nap, and scrutinized the spectacle of Ewan in mild irritation.
"Suikin is right. That's not a corpse, Ewan."
Lomuna muttered, recognizing Terra. She stepped forward and bent down to take the girl's pulse.
"It is a weak pulse, but the girl is living nonetheless. I think it would upset her if she woke up in flames."
No, she's definitely dead," Ewan insisted.
"Then we should give her a proper funeral when we reach the next town."
Lomuna said with another muffled yawn.
"Who knows? Maybe along the way she'll suddenly resuscitate and funeral won't be needed."
Tired and overheated from the sweltering sun, Suiken glared at Ewan as if the guild leader was a moron.
All right.
Ewan muttered, picking up Terra's corpse and throwing it on the front of the first wagon.
Don't worry, team. Since no one disproved me, I'm gonna have my own ceremony.
He commented, pulling out a box of matches and trying to scratch one into flame.
Now, you shouldn't be so hasty.
Lomuna said as she doused out the matches with a jug of water she conveniently carried around with her.
Whoops. I thought you might like to cleanse your hands with the heat and all. And wouldn't you like a better seat, Ewan? It must be so lumpy, your spot. I could provide you with a much better seat.
The rabbit girl winked as she pushed Ewan off Terra's corpse. Ewan quickly caught himself from the push.
Well, what are we gonna do with her then?
Ewan questioned the rabbit girl as they walked alongside the wagon.
Who is this anyway? Does anyone recognize her?
Ewan frowned at the body. Ahead of them, the rice fields rolled to a stop as the approaching River Ron flowed forward.
I mentioned she assisted us at the grave site.
Suiken repeated.
What Siyukin said.
Lomuna said, deliberately mispronouncing his name.
I think her name was Terra. I remember someone asking about her name or something. Let's just bring her along for now. Who knows? You may just have yourself another powerful guild member.